Despite public outcry, Nigerian Senate suspends committee report on electricity tariff. Reactions trail federal government's offer of 48,000 naira minimum wage. After months of controversy, Emirates set to resume flights in Nigeria. And on the international scene, cholera cases rise to 107 in flood-ravaged Kenya. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Sumaya Abubakar. And the details. The Senate has stepped down the consideration of the report on the planned hike of the electricity tariffs and the need to halt the proposed increase by distribution companies. The report, presented by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Power, Eyinaya Abaribe, considered the privatization of Nigeria's power sector, regulation of the activities of players in the industry, and the consequences of an upward review of electricity tariff under the multi-year tariff order. Trust TV's Sagir Ibrahim was there and now brings us the details.
During the presentation of the report read out by the chairman of the committee, Senator Eyinaya Abaribe, Abia South, lawmakers who commended the quality of work done by the committee seemed to share similar convictions and concerns about the proposed increase in tariffs, while Nigerians continue to grapple with the impacts of epileptic power supply. Some question the legality of the actions of the distribution companies creating a band system which categorizes electricity consumers in Nigeria from band A to band D.
Order, because I need
reference.
To I need to rule on that order.
Yeah, but let me give you the whole order because he took part of the order. In the opinion of the president of the Senate, not just that you stop anything.
The debate fired on until the chairman, Rules and Business Committee, Title Zam Benue Northwest, raised a point of order, noting that the matter was already being adjudicated.
A federal high court in Kano has issued an order restraining the NEC from implementing the new tariff. The suit marked FHC CNKS 144-2024 was filed by Super SAC Company Limited and BBY SACs Limited. So this matter is pending in court, and I endorse the Senate to avoid any further debate on this matter until the matter is finally decided.
This report, on the ground, let me make my point, on the ground that is subsidized. In fact, why are we debating it? The whole, look at the number of we are in the Senate, less than 1/5, and we carry a report that is of national interest, and less than 1/5 member are discussing it, despite the fact that it's pending in a court of law. We will be unfair and we will be unjust to continue to debate simultaneously the matter.
Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, who presided over the day's proceedings, advised that time be given for all legal impediments around the matter be addressed.
I think having raised the issue by the chairman of Rules and Business Committee, we need to tarry a while, go with his observation, and then try to give time to consult our legal department to see if we can continue. This is my opinion, I cannot disregard the suggestion or the observation by the chairman of Rules and Business. That will not be fair. So we are not saying that we will not continue with the report, but let's stand it down until we resolve the legal issues involved.
Deputy President Barrow, however, sustained the order and ruled that the report be stepped down and revisited on another legislative day after all of the constraints have been put to rest. From the Red Chamber of the National Assembly, Sagir Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
On security matters, the Kano State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of the suspect who carried out an attack on a mosque in Larabar Abasawa area of Kano State, where 11 people have been killed. A family source told Trust TV that burials has been concluded also across graveyards within the community. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin, who was following the incident, reports that 13 other survivors are now receiving treatment at Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital in Kano. The report.
This is Gidan Ngoro in Larabar Abasawa village of Gizawa local government area of Kano State, where family dispute over alleged sharing of inheritance set this community into mourning.
Past value investigation, while he was with me, he told me that it was not all about the disagreement over the sharing of inheritance, but there are other things that made him to become prostrated. And he told us that his uncle and elder brother had been worrying him to marry one particular lady that he is not interested about.
According to the police investigation, the 28-year-old Shafiu Abubakar sprayed the mosque area with petroleum, locked the door and set it on fire, trapping about 40 people inside.
He went to the petrol station, filled his tank, and moved to the village, where at night he siphoned the fuel into a gallon jerrycan. Later in the morning, he got a kind of rubber where he poured this petrol and went to the mosque alongside with a lighter. Then he immediately saw that they were in the midst of congregational prayer. He just lit the petrol in that container and threw it into the mosque.
11 people out of 24 victims have now been buried in this quiet community, while the suspect narrates how he lit up the fire on his family members while observing early morning prayers. According to Shafiu, his action is not entirely about sharing of inheritance, but his family's resolve to make him marry a lady he has never been in love with. Hence his decision to take out anyone that may be responsible for representing him in marriage. He set the fire, and this is because of misunderstanding with my family members. And it is not entirely about sharing of inheritance. It is about marriage. They have been disturbing me to marry a lady which I'm not interested about. They refused to stop. I tried. They refused to stop. So I felt this is the only way I can take them out. At the moment, this young man is under police further investigation as family members continue to receive their dead from the Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Nigerian military has declared Halu Usman wanted for alleged terrorist activities, illegal arms supplies, illegal mining and cattle rustling. Announcing this in Abuja at the bi-weekly media briefing of the Defense Media Operations, the Director of Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said Halu Usman, an indigene of Niger, resides in a forest in Zamfara State and often escapes to Niger Republic after striking in Nigeria. General Buba, however, said the military is working with its counterparts from Niger Republic to ensure the arrest of the terrorist who has several boys working for him. The general also said troops of the Nigerian army succeeded in rescuing a total of 253 kidnapped victims in the last 2 weeks. According to him, the feat was achieved by troops of Operation Y Yat Watch, Nokia fighting patrols, and those of Operation Delta State. While also announcing the killing of some insurgents, Buba said the fight against terrorism is one that must be won. General Buba also said that the troops neutralized 227 terrorists, arrested 529 terrorists, while 11 perpetrators of oil theft were also arrested in the weeks under review. The Kogi State Police Command says 7 more abducted students of Confluence University of Science and Technology, or Sara, have been rescued. The command's police public relations officer, SP Williams Aya, disclosed this in a statement on Thursday in Lokoja. According to the police, of the 24 students who were abducted, 14 had earlier been rescued from their abductors, and in that the latest rescue brings the total number of freed students to 21. He said the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Betokun, has deployed the air component of police security apparatus made up of helicopter crew trained for aerial surveillance monitoring team, as well as technical intelligence unit to sustain the ongoing rescue operation and onslaught against criminals in the state. Meanwhile, the unconfirmed reports in Lokoja said the commander of the bandits that invaded the institution was killed in a gun battle in the bush on Wednesday. In a now viral video, the alleged commander, dressed in a military camouflage, was seen tied to a stick and displayed for other security operatives for scrutiny and confirmation. The police have not yet confirmed if the dead person was the leader of the group that attacked the school. The Nigerian Army has inaugurated a 17-man peace implementation committee to find solutions to the lingering killings and counter-killings in communities of Bassa local government area of Plateau State. The development, according to the General Officer commanding 3 Division Nigerian Army and Commander of Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdulsalami Abubakar, comes in a wake of the latest attack on herders in the Mayanga community of Kwal district of Bassa local government area, where 2 herders and over 200 cattle were killed. Ado Musa completes the report.
The committee, which was inaugurated on Wednesday at the headquarters of 3 Division Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Jos, is chaired by Musa Audu from Irigo community and co-chaired by Adam Yakub from Fulani community. Speaking during the inauguration, General Abubakar disclosed that the committee was set up to replace the earlier one established by the traditional ruler of Irigwe land, the Bra Irigwe, following what he described as his failure to prevent further attacks in the area. He noted that their relaxation in implementing the peace processes was what led to the resurgence of attacks in the area.
The committee is essentially to implement the modalities put in place to achieve lasting peace in the Irigwe land and the entire Bassa local government area as well as the environs. We don't want any reversals, and I am confident that the committee members will approach their assignments with dedication, diligence, impartiality, as well as transparency.
Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwan, represented by the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Halu Usman, urged both communities to embrace peace, assuring of their readiness to provide them with the support needed to achieve lasting peace in the area.
Again, this time around, inaugurating a committee that is saddled with the responsibility of either we stay in peace with each other, or the committee, if you don't put your heads together, instead of making peace, we may end up in disarray, which we don't pray for that.
Earlier, the chairman of the committee, Musa Audu, stressed the need for all stakeholders to give the committee maximum support and cooperation to enable it achieve predetermined goals.
Standing here to appreciate this work given to us. It's a big task. When I was informed that I would be among this committee, I have to kneel down and pray. Say, God, I've never chosen myself to be among this committee, but the only thing I need wisdom. Because in handling human beings, God give us ability to stand whatever critics that may.
The constitution of this new committee is expected to provide solutions to the problem between herders and farmers in Bassa General area within a short period of time. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
On election matters, Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission, the INEC, has appealed to security agencies to provide a secure and peaceful environment for the upcoming elections in Edo and Ondo State. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu made this plea during the second quarterly consultative meeting between the INEC and the national security agencies on Thursday, emphasizing the need for a collaborative effort to ensure a hitch-free electoral process. Trust TV's Amarachi Amushi has more.
On the concluding day of its quarterly electoral consultative meeting with key stakeholders, the INEC chairman briefed security agencies on pertinent updates from the previous session. Additionally, he reiterated the need for their ongoing collaboration and support to facilitate a peaceful and conflict-free election in Edo and Ondo State.
I urge you to keep your eyes on the electioneering process with a view to preventing violent attacks or negative mobilization by political parties, candidates and their supporters during their campaigns. The security agencies have to ensure, and they have the duty, to enforce the law in all cases.
The representative of the National Security Advisor praised the chairman for his remark and further emphasized the importance of the security agencies maintaining vigilance and diligence throughout the electoral process.
I want to summarize that he actually spoke on behalf of the National Security Advisor as well by commending the security agencies for the successful conduct of the last elections. And I want to add that the same feat is expected of the security agencies during the forthcoming elections.
The INEC chairman emphasized to the security organizations that providing them with all the necessary information is aimed at assisting them in adequately preparing to secure the electoral process. Amarachi Amoshi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Nigerians have been reacting to the federal government's proposed 48,000 naira minimum for wage for workers. Now, the government's position was presented to the organized labor during a meeting on Wednesday in Lagos, where NLC and the TUC staged a walkout describing government and the organized private sector offers as not only an insult on the sensibilities of Nigerian workers, but also falling significantly short of meeting their needs and aspirations. Lilian Ogazi tells us more.
The brawl between the organized labor and the federal government continued, with the union storming out of the tripartite meeting with the federal government. Speaking to Trust TV News, the head of Information Nigerian Labour Congress, Benson Upa, re-echoed Labour's resolve to ensure that Nigerian workers are paid a minimum wage that is in sync with the realities of the present economic situation in Nigeria.
We consider the counter offer of 48,000 as an insult. It's an assault on our collective being. It is miserable, contemptible, contemptuous, and as I said, objectionable, totally objectionable and unacceptable to us. Government cannot talk about not having money. The statistics speak for themselves. You know how much they share now at FAC? It's almost triple what they used to have. So what are they doing with that money?
On April 14th, the organized labor demanded 615,000 naira as a new minimum wage for workers to enable them cope with the present high cost of living. With the federal government proposing 48,000 naira as a new minimum wage, many have been wondering how parties involved will reach a common ground.
To create a balance, I expect that the government, will take a holistic look at the economic situation and to realize that whatever amount they have to propose to Nigerians as a minimum wage will be an amount that will be reasonable enough for, the citizenry and especially the workers.
Meanwhile, Nigerians on the streets of Abuja have been sharing their thoughts on the development.
When I saw the 48,000 and 54,000 respectively, I asked myself, does that is unrealistic, looking at the economic condition of where we find ourselves in this country.
What they're proposing is not good. It's not good enough. It's not proper. So they could do better, come up with a better solution, considering the economic situation of the country right now. Nah, 48 grand is not going to cut it.
48,000 is way ridiculous, because looking at the amount, is not even enough to buy you a bag of rice, which seems to be the most commonest food among the masses.
Labour's proposed new minimum wage of 615,000 monthly was reached after consultation between the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, but with the government's offer. Where does the fate of Nigerian workers lie? Lilian Ogazi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Emirates Airlines says it will resume services to Nigeria from October 1st, 2024, operating a daily service between Lagos and Dubai. In a statement on Thursday, Emirates Deputy President and Chief Commercial Officer Adnan Kazim said flight services will be operated using a Boeing 777-300ER. Emirates Airlines had suspended its Dubai-Lagos flight in 2022 over its inability to repatriate trapped funds in Nigeria in the heat of the diplomatic row between the two countries. Nigeria and the UAE have a long history of restriction of flights between both countries based on concerns resolved or certain unresolved issues surrounding the bilateral air services agreement. Visa restrictions later surfaced as diplomatic fireworks continue between Nigeria and the UAE, which is a top destination for Nigerian migrants and tourists. In September 2023, President Bola Tinubu met with the UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi to smoothen the rough edges in the diplomatic relations between the two countries. President Bola Tinubu has written to the Senate requesting it to consider and grant concurrent approval to refund a total of 24.6 billion naira to enable the takeover of some airports constructed by state governments. In the letter read by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, during Wednesday's plenary, President Tinubu requested the establishment of a promissory notes program to the tune of 15 billion naira to Kogi State government and also 9 billion naira to the Nasarawa State government. The letter further revealed that the takeover approved in July 2022 by the previous administration includes the Lafia Cargo Airport and Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport in Birnin Kebbi. The Senate has referred the matter to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, which is expected to review and report back to the Senate.
I write to request the concurrence of the Senate for the establishment of promissory note program in favor of Kebbi and Nasarawa state governments for the reimbursements of the respective cost of construction of newly built airports in those states, which have been taken over by the federal government. The Senate is invited to note that at the Executive Council meeting of EC 2nd 2023 16th extraordinary meeting of the Federal Executive Council FEC, which was held on the 23rd day of May 2023, it was approved as follows: that one, that a promissory note in the sum of 9,542,651,786 naira 11 kobo only be issued to Nasarawa State Government as refund for the takeover of the newly constructed Nasarawa Airport.
As President Bola Tinubu on Thursday asked the House of Representatives to grant concurrent approval of the federal government to refund 24 billion naira to Nasarawa and Kebbi state government for the takeover of the airports built by the two states. President Tinubu also sought the consideration of the House to create the National Doping Bill 2024. Let's take a look at this and other stories from the Green after Thursday's plenary.
The President is seeking the approval of the House of Representatives to refund over 15 billion naira to the Kogi State Government and 9 billion naira to Nasarawa State Government. Kogi State government had earlier spent the money to construct the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport in Birnin Kebbi, the state capital, while Nasarawa State government spent 9 billion for the construction of the Lafia Cargo Airport, Nasarawa.
Aviation, including airports, safety of aircraft and carriage of passengers and goods by air fall under the exclusive legislative list. The import of these is that ownership, regulations, and control of airports in Nigeria are exclusive to the federal government.
The Speaker also read the President's letter on Doping Bill 2024.
The enactment of this vital legislation will also help Nigeria avoid the imposition of signatory consequences, inclusive of loss of hosting and participating at regional, continental, and world championships or major athletic events.
Also at Thursday's plenary, the Speaker read the letter on the passage of FCTA supplementary appropriations.
Appropriation. The capital projects are a vital component of the performance of the FCT and share significantly impact manpower and infrastructural development within the FCT.
In another development, the House called on the federal government to suspend the introduction of genetically modified crops into the country until a comprehensive investigation on them is concluded. The resolution of the House followed the adoption of the motion moved by Muktau Sagaya.
The House is aware that genetically modified foods have been created to contain almost anything, including genes which have higher levels of toxicity and negative long-term effects on human health. The House is further aware that the National Biosafety Management Agency, NBMA, has been accused of approving the introduction of GM crops into Nigeria without following due process and scientific protocols.
He is worried that the introduction of genetically modified crops has led to public outcries with serious concerns expressed about the potential risk they may pose to human health, environment, degradation, and food security. Plenary resumes next week, Tuesday.
You're watching Trust News R. Coming up. Following demolition, just market traders and officials beg state government for assistance in relocation. This and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is Trust News R. Here's a recap of our top stories. Despite public outcry, Nigerian Senate suspends committee report on electricity tariff. And reactions trail federal government's offer of 48,000 naira minimum wage. Moving on to more stories, the embattled former chairman of the disciplinary committee of the Oyo State Park Management System, Mukaila Lamidi, popularly known as Auxiliary, has been arrested. The commissioner of the police in Oyo State, Bola, who broke the news to newsmen at the force headquarters in Ibadan, warned those with sinister motives to steer clear of the state, stating emphatically that Auxiliary would be made to answer for his suspected criminal activities. The report.
It is a major breakthrough for security agents in Oyo State, who have been on the trail of the embattled chairman of the disciplinary committee of the park management system, Lamidi Mukaila, popularly known as Auxiliary. He was arrested penultimate Tuesday at his Olodo residence in Ibadan, the state capital, after the police had declared him wanted on the 2nd of June last year. 1 year down the line, the transporter is in the police net and will be made to answer for his suspected criminal activities.
Discreet intelligence-led search commenced for the sacked PMS chieftain with the help of technology, collaborative effort of sister agencies and community policing. Many locations were identified, traced, and combed for months until his recent arrest in a concerted effort with our sister services. Moving forward, the suspect will be charged to court for offenses he has committed.
Security agents took strategic positions at the force headquarters Eleyele, Ibadan, as the former PMS chairman was being led to waiting police vehicles to be ferried to an unknown destination. Police authorities warned individuals with ulterior motive to stay clear of the state.
While the command is thanking the public for providing credible information to curb crime, it has become imperative to affirm to the general public about our resolve to deal decisively with any criminally motivated individual or group who intends to flip the state retrogressively into the historical dark age of the Wild West.
Lamidi Mukaila, popularly known as Auxiliary, is accused of suspected murder, illegal possession of firearms, gun running, and kidnapping, among other crimes. Police authorities have promised to ensure that he faces the full weight of the law.
Still in Oyo State, torrential rains worsened by strong winds have destroyed electric poles and cables along the Eleyele-Jericho Road in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The heavy downpour, which started about 9:30 a.m. of Thursday morning, lasted till late afternoon, cutting off power supply and affecting business activities. Some residents who blamed the incident on negligence called on the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company to critically assess power infrastructure across the state in order to forestall wanton loss of lives and destruction of properties.
Time that the rain wanted to fall, I wanted to cross the road. So suddenly I just saw the pole fell. I need to cross back. So that is the only thing that I see. And as I came outside now, I see all the wire on the road everywhere. The pole fell down, even all the streets full of wire.
We came to DSTV to recharge, to pay subscription. And I was told that, okay, I cannot enter until 10 o'clock. The only place I can park is this place, which is off the road. I parked there, not up to 3-4 minutes. You know, there was heavy cloud, and I noticed that rain was about to fall with heavy breeze. The next thing I saw was this pole calling me down. And I had to just move, steal my tires, and I had to park the car there. And immediately everything fell down. So it was after the rain, they now stepped on this thing and I drove out. It's unfortunate. You see, we should have this culture. When you see something, you say something.
Some students of Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, Ile-Ife in Osun State on Thursday sustained varying degrees of injury as the ceiling of the amphitheater of the Oduduwa Hall caved in while lecture was in progress. While the injured students are receiving treatment, the management of the university has sealed off the amphitheater until further notice. Hamid Oyegbade files in the report.
The incident was caused by a windstorm that followed a heavy downpour. The injured students were rushed to the Medical and Health Center of the university for treatment, while those in critical conditions were taken to the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital Complex. The Vice Chancellor, Adebayo Bamire, led other principal officers of the university to the hospital to ensure that the injured students were given adequate medical attention. Students of the university appealed to federal government to provide adequate funds for the management of the institution to repair the amphitheater and other facilities on the OAU campus.
We received a call that there had been a collapse at the level of amphitheater, that is at OAU. On getting there, we found out that it was just part of the ceiling that fell down, of which some students sustained injury. And with immediate effects, those students have been transported down to the health center, while some that need intense medical treatment have been taken to the teaching hospital.
I remember last year, this very particular amphi was on lockdown for rehabilitation. And we should appreciate the promptness of the Vice Chancellor to rise up today and check on the victim of the incident. We equally appreciate the calmness of the students and the maturity of the student union to see this as an unforeseen circumstance. Nobody wish anybody evil. I hope the government will put more resources into university.
The incident that happened today is very touching and devastating, and the federal government should please come to our aid by providing funds for the repair and for the repair of the lecture theater, so that stuff like this will not be happening and everywhere will be safe and the students will be safe.
Meanwhile, the management of the university has sealed off the amphitheater until further notice. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
There was a pandemonium in the Pansia air axis of Yanagwa, the Bayelsa state capital, on Thursday as residents scampered for safety following a fire outbreak hit on a building known as Phone Headquarters. The fire outbreak, which destroyed properties worth millions of naira, did not record any human casualty. As first respondents were handy to assist people evacuate the premises. Trust TV's Friday Ebimobo Peters has more.
Eyewitnesses were on ground to assist with evacuations before the arrival of the state and federal fire services. Said the fire was suspected to have been ignited by generators.
Where fire come, we don't know. But my beg me say, let state government look about this and help the owner of the property and other people nearby where the fire affect.
I was actually at my office. The next time I saw the smoke coming out from the up. So we now run down. As we run down, we realized that there was a fire, serious fire incident. What I did first was to call Bassa Police Control Room to help us notify the fire service. But after all of that, I realized that the fire service were taking some time. So with the help of everyone on ground, so we're now fetching water from this river. We were passing to each other, so most of us climbed on top of the zinc to pour the water till it was to a level of the fire season that the fire service people now came to assist quenching the fire. The factor that caused the fire is the generator.
I see fire really burning. Then after then, I see my community boys and other people trying to support to make sure that the fire quench. Then after then, we quench the fire almost to the subsided. Then after then, we see that the fire service started coming.
Officials of the federal and state fire services advise business owners to always put fire extinguishers in place for the safety of lives and properties.
A lot of damages happens to properties, and if not promptly attended to, it will cause serious issues. And we thank God that this one is not a very high volume of it. If you compare to some other ones, thank God no life was lost. A few properties that were damaged. We thank God for neighbors that were around promptly to attend to it before we came. But if they had called earlier, I think the damage wouldn't have been this much.
My advice to people is that, all fire starts from small, except from explosion. So I want to advise the general public, business owners, you should have fire extinguisher, portable fire extinguisher, so that when you discover fire at the incipient stage, you can tackle it before it comes to inferno. So every business owner, every household owner should have a fire extinguisher in your house, because as you can see, the fire started from small. Although there was fire extinguisher, but it's not adequate for them to put off the fire.
The fire outbreak did not only affect the phone headquarters building, also spread to neighboring shops. From Yanagwa, Friday, Ebimobowe Peter, Trust TV News, Yanagwa.
After the demolition of the Kogi market in the Bukuru area of Jos South local government area in Plateau State, the affected traders have appealed to the state government to provide an alternative space for them to continue their businesses. The demolition was due to the proximity of some shops to railway lines and others built on the railway lines. Dixon Adama, who spoke to some of the victims, said the state government will soon commence the intra-city rail transport system, which requires the railway channels to be cleared. His report is presented from our studio. Take a look.
The demolition of the market has dislodged traders who are estimated to be over 3,000. The affected traders are calling on the government to assist them with any form of financial empowerment or palliative to cushion the effect of the demolition, as they incurred varying degrees of losses due to the incident. Speaking on the ordeal of the people on Wednesday, the chairman of the Elders Forum in the area, Danlami Garba, said although they are not challenging the state government on the exercise, they are, however, begging Governor Caleb Mutfwang to provide an alternative to the people, or at least compensate those who have lost their means of livelihood to the exercise.
the government now should come to their aid with some palliatives. And if need be, some of them should be given an assistance because many of them lost their property. And it is only the government now can assist because we don't have philanthropists that will now say, okay, let us come and assist the people.
We are calling government to look at this issue, find a way to help our members, because this thing has put people into confusion. They don't know where to go and do their markets.
Government come and regulate this place when we used to stay and find something to eat with our children, and now we don't know where to stay. We want government to find the way that we be staying there and find something to eat with our children.
On behalf of the widows and the orphans and the less privileged in this market, that the government should please help us and look for a place for us. Now everybody is stranded. Rain will soon start falling now. We don't know where to go. Look at me now. I am doing POS, I have saloon, I sell snacks, but no place. I'm just working with my bag to see if I can get something that will take home for my children.
Although victims of the demolition exercise are appealing to the government for assistance to enable recover and continue their businesses, it is believed that this is not the last of such exercise, as other decongested places along train lines and the intracity buses lanes would be cleared.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. The news will be back shortly. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. In business, the cost of living crisis confronting the majority of Nigerians may have further worsened as inflation hits another new height in close to 3 decades. Yusuf Akogu tells us more in this explainer.
Inflation has persisted as a problem in Nigeria. Households have had their incomes decimated, peace disrupted, and stability shaken. The average household in Nigeria looks like a dog beaten on a rainy day. The pitiful look in the eyes of regular breadwinners portrays the damage that rising consumer prices have had on household well-being. The 33.69% inflation rate announced by the National Bureau of Statistics for April 2024 revealed what everybody already knew. Nigeria's inflation is on the war path. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, food inflation increased year-on-year to 40.53%, an indication that the Central Bank of Nigeria's monetary policy, which is aimed at taming inflation, is not yielding the desired results. For instance, the Apex Bank has raised monetary policy rate by 400 basis points in its February and March meetings. It also increased key lending rate to 24.75% to tighten liquidity and apparently control what it has described as stubborn inflation that has accelerated consistently for 15 months. Despite all these interventions, Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, has continued its upward trajectory. Rising from 29.9% in January, inflation has hunted for the soul of Nigeria's consumers' wallet. In February, inflation rate increased to 31.70%, representing an increase of 9.79% year-on-year. In March 2024, the headline inflation increased to 33.20%. Looking at the movement, the rate showed an increase of 1.50 percentage points. In July 2023, President Bola Tinubu declared national emergency on food security as record inflation made basic foods unaffordable for many. 10 months later, the situation has worsened, with prices of basic food items hitting rooftop. NBS report on selected food items for April 2024 showed that the price of rice rose by 152.93%, beans 106%, gari 112%, and yam 141.25% in the past 1 year. Experts say the challenge is that Nigeria still relies heavily on imports to meet the daily needs of its citizens, which expose the country to external shocks. Yusuf Akogu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
Let's join Yusuf Akogu for more business news update.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Wednesday said it has granted 14 new international money transfer operators (IMTOs) approval in principle in new effort to double foreign currency remittance inflows through formal channels. CBN Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Hakama Sidiali, in a statement said the initiative will help increase the sustained supply of foreign exchange in the official market by promoting greater competition and innovation among IMTOs to lower the cost of remittance transactions and boost financial inclusion. Formal remittance flow accounts for over 6% of GDP and will help ease the volatility in Nigeria's exchange rate caused by external factors. IMTOs in Nigeria are companies or organizations which the CBN has authorized to facilitate the transfer of foreign currency from individuals or entities residing abroad to recipients back in Nigeria. World Bank has blacklisted 58 Nigerian companies and individuals for engaging in corrupt practices, a move which comes as part of the institution's ongoing effort to uphold integrity and transparency in its projects and operations. Among those affected are 39 Nigerian companies previously debarred by the Africa Development Bank, AFDB, along with 19 individuals identified by the World Bank under the cross-debarment policy. A debarment renders firms, individuals ineligible to participate in projects and operations financed by institutions of the World Bank Group. According to the World Bank report, the sanctions were imposed following an administrative process conducted by the bank, which allowed the accused firms and individuals to respond to the allegations. BS continues to dominate activities at the NGS. Market analysts say the reforms in the larger economy is affecting the performance of the capital market. Let's see how it ended today, Thursday, on the floor of NGS. The market closed in a negative territory, leading the losing equities. There is internal oil down by 9.89% to close at 12 naira and 30 kobo per share, followed by FCMB 8.97% he lost to close at 6 naira and 60 kobo per share. Of course, Wema Bank also down 6.94% to close at 6 naira and 70 kobo per share. Of course, this has dragged down the market by 0.39%. Of course, the all share index is losing so much grip there. Market cap is also down significantly today. It's been over 55 trillion, but is down to 54 trillion at the close of business today. Volume of trade 403.903 million shares, value at 6.686 billion naira in a days of 7,193 did exchanges among investors today. Of course, we have some equities that lead the top trading equities. We have a custodian, an insurance company there, doing 115.583 million shares. Nigerian breweries, 83.746 million shares. Of course, UBA, 26.034 million shares each traded today. Of course, some equities also recorded gains today. Leading that table is a medium cap equities, Royalex, up there 10% to close at 55 kobo per share. Of course, International Energy Insurance, 7.84% to close at 1 naira and 65 kobo per share. Of course, Prestige, an insurance company as well, also gained 5.88% to close at 54 kobo per share. That's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Thursday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate details for today. Crude oil prices climbed higher today following signs that demand is in a healthy condition and the U.S. economy is not in a bad shape. At the London market, European Brent sell for $83 per barrel. For the oil basket, dealers offered $83 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
Thank you, Yusuf Akogu. Moving on, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has received the President of Senegal, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who is visiting Nigeria. Welcoming the Senegalese president on his arrival at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, on Thursday, on behalf of President Bola Tinubu, the FCT minister conferred on him the honorary citizenship of Abuja with the presentation of the symbolic key of the city. According to the minister, the key confers on the Senegalese president all the rights and privileges of a citizen. It serves also as a mark of respect for the strong friendship and cordial relationship between Nigeria and Senegal. President Faye later proceeded to the presidential villa to meet the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Faye, who arrived at 3:09 p.m., was received at the forecourt of the villa on Thursday, marking his first visit to Nigeria since assuming office last month. Faye, 44, the youngest president in Senegalese history, secured a victory in a delayed presidential election in April, garnering over 54% of the votes. On the international scene, the number of cholera cases in Kenya has increased to 107 as heavy flooding caused by seasonal rains continues to wreak havoc in the country. The Ministry of Interior and National Administration said the Ministry of Health, together with the Kenya Red Cross, are conducting medical outreach programs and control measures against cholera and other waterborne diseases in Yeri, Tana, River, and Marsabit counties. The ministry, in a statement issued in Nairobi, said 30 public health officials have also been deployed for a risk assessment of all 167 internally displaced camps and evaluation of nutrition as well as safe drinking water, sanitation and hygiene points. And now let's join Adeni Ajishafe for Sport News Update.
The host team of the 2024 Nigerian B-Soccer League second round, Anambra B-Soccer Warriors, edged Mangu Patigi B-Soccer team in one of the opening games at the Moonshine Arena, Nnewi High School in Anambra State. The team secured the win after going 2 goals down in the first half before scoring 3 goals to end a 3-2 win. Defending champion and African top-ranked B-Soccer team, Kebbi B-Soccer defeated 2021 league winners Kada B-Soccer team 7-5 in the second match of the day. Ekene Adams and Taiwo Adams both scored 3 goals, while Fuad Badmus converted a goal for Bassa Samaila-led side. 2 goals from Dozier Frank and Maman James as well as Godwin Tales' own goal were not enough for Kada BSC. Meanwhile, the first game of the round saw Kebbi United securing a 7-5 win to avenge their 5-2 loss against Jigawa Golden Star B-Soccer team. And in basketball, Nigerian representative at the 2024 Basketball African League, Rivers Hoopers, will battle AS Douanes of Senegal in one of the 4 seedings games in the playoffs in Kigali next week. The two teams played against each other twice in the Sahara Conference held last week in Dakar, with each winning one of the ties. Unlike previous formats where teams advance straight to the knockout stage, teams have been paired based on their performance across all 3 conferences in this season's playoff. The Kingsmen, who won the Sahara Conference, are third on the overall standing behind Kalahari Conference champions FUS Rabat of Morocco in second, and Nile Conference champion Al Ahly of Egypt, who topped the overall standings. US Douanes finished 4th, Petro de Luanda 5th, US Monastir of Tunisia 6th, Al Ahly of Libya 7th, and Cape Town Tigers of South Africa 8th. The winner between Hoopers and AS Douanes will play against the winner between Petro de Luanda and US Monastir, while the loser of the tie will square up against the loser of Game 39 in the corner final. Other quarter final series games will see Al Ahly takes on FUS Rabat, Petro de Luanda face US Monastir, and Al Ahly Libya play Cape Town Tigers. The seeding games will take place on 24th and 25th May before the quarterfinal tip-off on 26th at the BK Arena in Kigali, Rwanda. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we wrap up Trust News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.